Hey, what's up everybody? It's the Suburban Mountain Man, and I'm here to help you guys out with some betta fish tips for new betta fish owners. First things first, number one, I'd like to start off with the proper tank sizes. So, personally, I use a 2.5 gallon as I was on a budget when I originally got the betta fish. So I got him a 2.5 gallon tank, and it seems to be fine for him. He really does enjoy swimming around in it and all that kind of stuff. So, consider that as the smallest you can go. But anything too small will be way too much and honestly not good for the fish. And I would definitely say a 2.5 gallon up to a 10 gallon would be ideal. And then anything over that is, better. The more, like the bigger the better, essentially. But yeah, so that's the first thing I'd say is get the right size tank for your fish. I know they're selling these 0.7 gallon fish tanks for $14. Just cough up the extra 10 and get a 2.5 gallon, if anything. And so number two, I would like to say you should feed them the correct food and give them water changes and conditioner for the water. I'd say that's almost vital for your fish, especially if you're not planning on, doing frequent water changes. At least do them a favor and feed them the correct stuff. Give them, my betta fish personally doesn't like it, but a lot of betta fish really do enjoy bloodworms and, actual betta fish food. I feed them the pellets usually. That seems to be fine. And then I got a betta fish water conditioner that gets the water to the exact conditions for the betta fish. And then, yeah, that's basically what I have to say. If you're not willing to do, the work for it, just at least spend the extra money to make it a little easier for yourself. I'd say at least do a water change once a week, but if you want to do, if you have a bigger tank and you want to do it once a month, do like much bigger, like 70-50% water changes once a month. Make sure he's alright. They don't produce much waste on their own, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. Just make sure he's got a clean and healthy tank and you feed him well. I usually feed mine about once a day, and that's pretty much what keeps him the happiest. Next up, number three, Tankmates. So that's something a lot of people don't really want to do because betta fish are known to be super aggressive, and it really depends on your fish. Some betta fish are extremely aggressive, some are very, very nice and calm, and then some are just like mine, just completely random. They don't know if they're nice or not. So you gotta just take your time and help them out and let them adapt. I'd say the best things to get them are passive fish, something that won't mess with him. So anything from like this isn't a fish, but an amphibian to go with him would be an African dwarf frog if you have a big enough tank. Maybe some smaller, not nippy fish, basically. I would just go for something that's fast enough to get away from him and won't nip at him. So that's what I'd say for tank baits. Number four, I'd say one of the most important things for a betta fish's health is a heater. There is super cheap. I don't want to hear the excuse saying I can't afford one or anything like that. There's very, very cheap heaters, like the little ones that are made for a 1 gallon to a 5 gallon tank. Those little heaters I know are like $5. Yeah, I think anyone could get one. If you're not willing to buy a heater, then don't get the fish, because they're not meant to live in a little vase. That's kind of cruel. That's messed up. I wouldn't just put a fish in a vase and expect him to live very long. You get him, he'll die within the next month, which is, not really a good thing. Whereas I'm not trying to brag, but I kept mine alive for 8 months, and he had all sorts of health issues. I got him nearly dead. He was bright white, and now he's blue. It's a process. So definitely focus on getting a heater. It will make a difference for your betta fish's life and how happy he is. And just think about the fish before you make the decision of buying him. And make sure you can take care of him first. Next is be sure to give some time per day to check him out. I usually give myself about an hour every day to check my fish and check my tanks to make sure everything's going smoothly. Because if your fish you don't check on him for a couple days and you come back, he's got white spots all over him and you didn't treat whatever he has, ick or bacterial diseases or anything like that, you could be screwed, My fish has nearly died multiple times because I've been caught up in schoolwork, which I'm willing to admit it was my fault. He's been really sick, so I have to do like 50% water changes and all sorts of general care stuff to keep him, going, because without it, he probably would have passed away. So it's definitely something you need to have time for. You can't just leave your fish to, pass away or anything like that. You gotta make sure you have time every day to check him out. When you feed him, just look at him for a couple minutes, check him out, make sure his fins are okay, make sure everything's healthy. I wouldn't worry. So make sure you have a clear head and you're not too much nervous about your fish. Make sure he's going to make it onto the next day. And that goes for all fish. You just got to make sure they're doing well and you can keep an eye on them. So yeah, that's top 5 beginner tips for betta fish when you get your betta fish and what to do initially for setup and all that stuff. I know it's not the most professional video. I'm a beginner myself. I've only had my betta fish for about almost a year now, and he's doing well. I've been helping him out, doing everything I can. So hopefully you guys all have the same general experience, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out. Adios.